guys. So I would like you to, I'd like to invite you to jump into the chat and put in then your details of how people can connect with you. So if you'd like to put in your, try if you can, under 15 words to say your superhero statement, like I am Joe and I am the digital marketing guru for the cellar bottle shops on the New South Wales far north coast. Full stop. And then you can put in your Facebook and your Instagram and all those other lovely ways for people to connect up with you. So let me just open up that chat. Hey, Charmaine. So I'm going to share my screen right now and we're going to get stuck into this presentation. And I was just having a little fiddle with it yesterday and adding a few extra bits and pieces to it. And it just made me realize how much I love talking on this topic, where it's not specifically Instagram stories or specifically Facebook groups, for example. It's social media all over. So that can include your LinkedIn and your everything. And excuse me, I've been spending a fair bit of time in the new Clubhouse. And yesterday, one of the rooms that I was in, that I was listening to, was talking about the importance of your bio. So you know that your bio on Instagram is so tiny that it's incredibly important how well you optimize those few characters that you have to make that really good. The one on Clubhouse is a lot longer than that, but it has no other ways of allowing you to connect. So what they were saying is the importance is because the only thing that is linked up is your Instagram and your Twitter, no Facebook with Clubhouse. So if your Instagram and your Twitter bios are completely optimized and had a bit of an overhaul, that's a definite bonus for you guys. So that's a little challenge I encourage you to do this week, is go and take a look at the bios, not just on Instagram and Twitter, but on all the bios that you have in all the different places. Like, for example, I don't spend enough time in LinkedIn, but then about a week ago, I decided I needed to overhaul my bio, which made me remember what was good about it and what I needed to do with it, etc. So definitely challenge to you all is go and look at your bios, and in Facebook, that would be called your about section, and give those all a bit of an update and a refresh, and it will make quite a difference. And then you can even share that on your personal page and say, hey, just done a little refresh. What do you think? I also encourage you to have a little look at your, your about section on your personal Facebook page too, making sure that when people see you in a group posting about something that you do, you know, where you're sharing your expertise, etc., they click on you to have a little stalk and see what your business is. Make sure it's really clear that people know what it is you do, that you've linked your business page, linked your Instagram, so they can easily go and find your business stuff. I've got a little froggy. Excuse me. Okay, so let's share the screen and get stuck into this presentation, which is my social media 5-step formula. And I'm hoping that it will make everything so much clearer for you all going forward. Now, you can take notes if you want to, literally listing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can check this out in the Facebook group. It'll be in the unit section stored in there, as are all of the webinars. They're also all being loaded onto YouTube, these digital marketing webinars, so you can access them anytime. So here we are, part 3 of 2021. And the 5-step formula of my webinar series. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Kylie. I build brands. I help entrepreneurs and businesses get visible online so they attract their customers to them instead of chasing them. So this little bit here, this is my superhero statement. So very easy and quick for me to write it when I'm somewhere and they say, you know, say what you do or write what you do, etc. I help people simplify their digital marketing, and I do this through one-on-one coaching and group coaching programs, masterclasses and workshops. I'm supported by a fabulous team, 2 of which are in here today, or 2 of whom are, that's Merlin and Honey. And we offer free weekly Zoom webinars, so you can join anytime, ask questions and upskill. And this is just a little overview that says about all the different things that I do and I'm involved in. And I was very excited to edit this last night to add this little symbol because Jenny and I, we now have launched our podcast. So Friday mornings when we do bite-sized conversations as a Zoom webinar, it's also being recorded as a podcast. So you can listen in on Spotify or any of your favorite spots that you want to. I run an online meetup called Positive Passionate Women in Business, which anybody is welcome to join also. So the links for that will all be in the chat very soon. So keep a little look out for that. Okay, so let's get started. And firstly, we're going to have a little look in brief. So you might even want to take a screenshot of this one or even just a photo from your camera. So my 5-step formula is clearly 5 parts to it, which is your story, how you engage with your audience, how you problem solve, your call to actions, and your visual content. And I'm going to go through each one of those in more detail. So firstly, each time you sit down to create your post, ask yourself, is what I'm about to post going to help, inspire, motivate, or add value in some way? Now that relates to any social platform that you're on. So I know there's a lot of people out there that believe that you just need to keep posting. Consistency is king. Keep posting. But I'm a big believer in if you haven't got something to say or you haven't got a strategy so that it's really clear what your message is that you're wanting to put out there and what days you're going to post what type of content on, then it's incredibly hard. So you don't need to post just for the sake of posting. Make sure that your posts have a purpose to them or a purpose behind them so that you actually feel really confident about what you're posting. So always try and think about these words here before you do your post or before you prepare your content strategy. So here we go. Let's get stuck into it. Oh, after I've just shared one of my new little quotes, social media shouldn't be about how much you can impress people. Instead, how can you impact people? So step 1, let's talk about your story. So be a storyteller with your content and lead your audience on a journey to learn. Video is a really great way to do this. So I'm going to show you in a little moment how we've upgraded or updated our YouTube channel, which you can easily do yourself. And then we've always stored all our videos on there anyway, particularly for, so I've often used it more as a storage space rather than I've used it as a social media channel. But we're going to fix that up this year. But what you'll notice, I might just click on it right now and show you, what you'll notice is that this video that plays automatically, which it's doing right now, this is my message. So that message was made in, I can't remember if we used Wave for it or in video. Anyway, one of those really easy to use video creation platforms, and you just pay a monthly subscription. I think we pay yearly, which brings the cost quite substantially down. It's full of stock footage that you can use. Of course, you put your branding into there, and then you present little videos that you tell your message really, really well. So that little video there is like your welcome video as soon as you come to the YouTube channel, but also it's the Facebook cover on the Hello Media Facebook page. We use it in other little places as well. And one of the cool things about those video creating platforms is that once you've created your first one, you can easily resize it. So in here, we've got, if I show you an example of clients ones, let's have a little look at all of these. So here's an example of another one. And then we'll see. Honey, are you able to tell me where the Instagram stories version is? As I said, our YouTube just had a little bit of an overhaul. Whoa, let me just go back. So you should be able to see that when we create that size, then we also create the one for Instagram stories and the square size for Instagram as well. So they're not on there though. As you can see, these are only the YouTube size, which can also be used for your Facebook cover and on your website and all kinds of different ways that you may want to use it. So as I said, their video is really important and a really easy way to do that. But also let's have a little look at other ways that you might want to share a part of your story. So you can be putting it on Facebook, you can be putting on Instagram, you can be putting it on all kinds of places. I'll just go and show you on Hello Media how we do that. So this is just snippets of versions of stories of mine. And I've got this one here as my pinned post, which is all part of a lead magnet that I offer to be building my email database. So you'll see that it's a little bit about me personally, because it's talking about being overwhelmed with all the tools and the systems and all the things. And so then what I did was I created CEO Day. And then after that, put systems in place and made everything much easier. Then I offered to then, help you guys by saying this is a free, downloadable if you also want it. And then of course, everybody says, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. So, but that's me sharing a part of my story, which is when I first launched my business, my brain was literally exploding, all the things, it was too much. And then I go on to talk about all that kind of thing. So anyway, there's lots and lots and lots of different ways that you can be sharing parts of your story. It doesn't have to be, when I was born, I had red hair and my mum liked to dress me in yellow. It's not that kind of a story that we're looking to share. It's just snippets along the way that are helping your audience get to know you better. Because always remember, people work with people. They want to know what is going on behind. Jo, who's in here now that works for the Cellar Bottle Shops, she's always said, and nod your head if you agree, Jo, that every time you post a photo from long ago, because the Cellar Bottle Shops has been around for decades, from old school time, then everybody loves it. It gets huge, huge, huge engagement. But also every time you do a photo of staff in one of the shops or anything that's a bit of behind the scenes, they get a lot more engagement, don't they, than any other post. Is that correct? Yes. So, and that's because people like to know what's going on behind the scenes of a business. It doesn't mean you need to share the whatever, but it might be you don't have to share a messy desk. But on the other hand, the messy desk might be a great way to connect with your audience. So who knows? Anyway, definitely have a think about how can you be sharing more of your story, more of who you are, more of what makes you tick, more of what makes you work in the industry that you're in. And then also, if you can, do some of that using video too. Okay, step number 2 is engage. How do you engage with your audience? Social media is so much more about so much more than just you and your brand. So make it about others by reading their posts, commenting on their posts, sharing their posts, liking and saving. The more that you engage with your audience, the more likely that they will engage back. So we set aside 10 minutes every day, and 10 minutes is not a lot out of a 24-hour day, but 10 minutes every day to do engagement, and we call it community engagement, on our Hello Media accounts and on, of course, for Positive Passionate Businesswomen as well. So what that means is that Honey will jump on as me sometimes, or jump on as Hello Media, and she'll just go and scroll for about 10 minutes and respond to people's things. But she will also, that's on Instagram and on Facebook and on LinkedIn, but she will also jump in, and anytime that anybody's been responding to us or, commenting on one of our posts, then she will then respond to all of those as well. And often it will be me that responds to those too. Because it's kind of like if someone walks into your shop and you say, good morning, and how are you today? And they say, I'm great, thanks. Do you have that top in yellow? And you turn around and walk off. Well, you wouldn't do that, would you? You would actually keep engaging with that person, and you would smile at them and whatever. So you need to remember that all those little things on social media are the same. You need to give a little like, you need to have a little engagement. Like, think about walking down the street or going to a networking event or something. You don't just look away and walk away from someone. You would always give a bit of eye contact, maybe give a little smile, might have a little chat, might exchange business cards, who knows? So think about real life being so similar to social media, and remember that the word social out of social media is really, really, really important. So for that, I want to show you my 80-20 rule, or talk to you about my 80-20 rule. So that is really thinking hard about what it is that you're posting. So I've got a client who, in particular, it's been really, really hard for her to see or understand the reasoning behind why you can't just sell all the time. And when she looks at her competitors her competitors are selling all the time. So luckily I've worked with her for long enough to be able to show her over time that the proof is in the pudding, and that when you're not just posting salesy posts all the time, you actually get far better engagement with your other posts. That means when you do post a salesy type of a post, people actually see it because they've already been interacting with your other things, which means that Facebook or Instagram shows them more of your content. So what I mean by the 80-20 rule is that 80% of the time when you're making a post, think about, are you entertaining or educating? So I think of it as edutaining. So I'm either trying to help somebody, I'm trying to add value, I'm trying to share a tip, share an idea. It might be a quote. Does this resonate with you? It could be anything or it could be something funny. It could be a little video. It could be one of those little Hello BDS swimming pig videos. There's lots and lots of different ways. I could also be sharing someone else's content if I think it's going to help my viewers, etc. 20% of the time is when I might do the selling. I might talk about my masterclass coming up. I might talk about group coaching, or maybe book a discovery call. Those are the things that you'll see never more than around 20% of the time. 80% of the time is when I'm giving value, or I'm entertaining, or doing something along those ways. So have a think, if you can, about what's your mix of what you're sharing at this point already. If you were to look back at, say, the last 2 weeks worth of content that you've posted, has it all been about promoting your own business or trying to sell something that you that is part of your offerings or your products? Or have you been sharing other things? It might be sharing someone's blog post. It might just be asking a question to get really, really great engagement. So one thing that we do every morning at 6 a.m. every Monday morning at 6 a.m. in the Hello Media Facebook group is we ask a question. No picture, just a question. And I think from memory, this was in Positive Passionate Women in Business. The one that we scheduled for this morning was, what was the best thing about your weekend? And people go boom, boom, boom straight away and share either just a line, or they share a picture or something like that and talk about their weekend. Now, why that's gold is on a number of reasons. There's sort of a 2 or 3 pronged reasoning behind why I do it. The first thing is that it gives me an opportunity to get to know my community, really, and give them a chance to get to know me better. So it also gives me a chance to be interacting and engaging with people, and it's a fun thing to do. The next reason is because if my week starts with a post getting really great engagement, that tells Facebook that people are liking what it is that we're putting out there. So then the next post that we put up, more people will see it. And if they get engagement too, then more and more and more people will see them. And as you all know, it's really hard to get your posts seen, and it's harder to get people engaging with your posts. So make sure that you're asking questions, because just that one simple question every Monday morning in those 2 different groups makes all the difference. So you can also do that on your page. A couple of our clients, we've shown them really great ways to be doing a question each Monday morning, and it is amazing what a difference that makes going forward into the week. So give that a try, and that's my top tip of the day. So definitely have a little look at that 80-20 rule, and remember that question has got nothing to do with selling. That's just to do with putting it out there for your community. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is in terms of engagement is my Olympic medal analogy. So social media engagement, what is it that we should be looking for or aiming for? So a lot of people think that what they want is likes. They want followers, and they want likes. But that's not really what we should be aiming for at all. In fact, I just listened to this great thing in Clubhouse the other day that said, I'd rather have get one email address than 1,000 followers on Instagram, because those 1,000 followers on Instagram aren't going to be seeing all the content that you're putting out. Yet that one extra person that signed up to your email database, they're going to be seeing your content, because email will sit in your inbox until they delete it. As long as you've nailed your subject line, then you're winning there. So I've put the bronze medal as being the like. So yes, it's better than somebody just scrolling past and not liking it at all. So remember, we're trying to create scroll stopping content, because think of it as this here is your phone, or here is my phone, and I'm going scroll, scroll, scroll. We want the graphic to be enticing enough that it stops us scrolling. So that's the first thing. We want then somebody to go double click and yes, let's give it a like. So that is a good thing. It's a bronze medal. But let's aim a little higher and let's go to silver medal. I've put in here a little icon of a chat, because to me, or comments or a conversation, because to me, the silver medal is when somebody leaves a comment. So that's a really good thing, a comment. And it could be just that, that your post has said, drop me an emoji if you agree with blah, blah, blah. And so then they drop an emoji, or what are your top favorite emojis, or type yes or no if you like blah, 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 for example. So something that gets them engaging, like the one that I did with that post that we did this morning about what was the best thing that happened on your weekend, for example. There was a lot of silver medals going on there for me. But let's have a little look at gold. The gold medal, of course, is the top of the podium. That's the one that we want to aim for. And I've given the gold medal two different things that'll get you a gold medal. The first one is if somebody shares your post, because when they share it, whether it's to their business page, whether they share it out to their personal page, whatever it is, or whether they share it into their stories, what it means is that there's new eyeballs that are on that content of yours that had never seen your content before. So that is great. It gives them an opportunity for new people to find out about you and to decide to follow you if they want to and enjoy your content. And then hopefully, of course, convert down to be a customer or a client, etc. The other part of a gold medal is if somebody tags someone in a post. So if I put the post out there this morning that said, what was the best thing about your weekend? And for example, Maureen wrote in the comments and said, I had a great weekend with, and she tags Brenda Armfield, and say Brenda has never seen my post or my page before. Then she will have seen that she's been tagged. She jumps in, and then she's like, oh, I like the vibe that's going on here. I'm going to go and explore a bit more, see who this person is, see what this page is, and I'm going to follow that too. So the gold medal is two things. Remember, it's the tag. If somebody tags you or you tag somebody, or sharing out somewhere, that's also gold medal. So that's just my little analogy of that. You can take a screenshot or a little photo. And here it's just the same thing. I've just summed it up there so that you can read that, just in case you want a screenshot of that one instead. That tells you all about what is bronze, silver, and gold, and what you should be aiming for at what point. Okay, next is step number 3, which is problem solve. So problem solving, your brand's main goal is to solve the problems that your audience faces. So make sure that your posts do the same. So that one that I showed you on the Hello Media page where I was, I'll just share it again now. So let me just go to here and to here and to here. It's this post here. This was a problem solving post also, because not only am I talking about how that was all really difficult for me, but then I'm also saying what it was that I did to fix it. And then I'm saying how I can help you fix it also, because I know that everybody will also have that same problem. But a lot of my posts will be that kind of a thing. So they're top tips, they're guides, how to, they'll lead you over to a blog post, which might be 5 reasons why, etc. So have a little think about that, of how can you be solving someone's problem in the way that you're putting it. Maureen says, I've noticed that in some groups, questions don't get any response at all. So that's really interesting, isn't it? So firstly, what I'd say about that, Maureen, is that they just don't know their audience. So you'll notice in mine, they get responses every single time. And sometimes it can be a huge number of responses, sometimes maybe 20 or 15 or something. But the key is I know my community, I know my group, and I know what works for them. So it might be that in those groups that they could try putting a graphic with it. I usually just have text without a graphic. It might be that they just need to ask the question in a different way, and find different ways to engage with your audience. But really, it's just about getting to know who they are and what they're all about. And that's where those questions work for me. So that's interesting. Yeah, I would just recommend trying it again, but maybe this time with a picture. But also, what's the purpose behind why they're asking that question? Do you think that they're wanting to lead them on to something else? Or is it because they're just genuinely interested to have a lovely chat and start up a conversation? So particularly something about the weekend, you could start with, for example, if I posted that question to someone else's group, I wouldn't just write, what was the best thing about your weekend? I'd write something maybe like, I worked all day Sunday so that I can have Tuesday off this week. What about you guys? Did you work this weekend, or a weekend strictly just for you for family time or whatever? You know, and you can get that conversation starting. So then that's giving a reason behind why I posted, well, or why I would have posted that question. That's just my thoughts there. Charmaine says, have to relook at what I post. I think I'm so desperate to help people with example pain in the neck that I end up sounding teacher-like. As a result, I don't have much feedback. So if you start off with, so, you know, a question like, how, you know, do you have a pain in your neck? Probably do, because so many of us sit at the computer these days, you know, and particularly on Zoom, I'm always like, oh, it's stuck in this position. So, you know, start engaging with people on that level, and then say, you know, maybe it's time for you to start thinking about those lead magnets, Charmaine, and what you can be offering people, rather than just trying to give, you know, to be teachery and say, download this guide that I've given you, that I've created for you, with 5 ways to sit at your desk better and, you know, protect your neck, for example. Not sure, that could definitely be worth having a little look at though. Okay, so that's how I'm showing you about problem solving. But have a little think about for you, what is it that is your customer or your client's main problem, and how can you be sharing things? Keep in mind though, and this really, really, really important one. Keep in mind that you're sharing not just the not the how, but you're sharing the why or the what, not the how, because you want them to buy from you or work with you or whatever to learn the how. Okay, let's go to, oh, it says step, and I forgot to write in step 4, but we're up to step number 4, and that is visual. So the first thing that we see on Facebook and Instagram, etc., are the images. So you need to make them visually appealing, use your branding, and remember that done is better than perfect. And you want to be creating scroll stopping content. And like I said before, it's when you've opened up Facebook or opened up Instagram on your phone, and you're just scrolling through, scrolly, and you need something to be so captivating that you stop the scroll, read the caption, and then like it, comment, share it, etc., etc. So that's the scroll stopping factor. So how can you make something amazingly awesome, authentic, on point, all of that kind of stuff with your branding? Well, you can use a platform like Canva. You don't have to use Canva. There's heaps more other than just Canva. You might like to do it all with Photoshop or with Canva. Or with Illustrator. But there's lots and lots of platforms out there that you could use. We use Canva a lot because it's very easy for my whole team to share it. And we love that you can set up your whole brand kit. So in there, we've got colors, we've got fonts, we've got just all the things, the logos, for example, that is related exactly to the brand kit for Hello Media, which makes it very easy to go forward and create things that are completely on point all the time. You'll notice there on the bottom right, all my slides have a different Bitmoji in there. So we're putting in a Bitmoji all the time into all different ways because it gives you personality in there as well. But it also shows that, it's just another thing that can be connected up. So if you have a Bitmoji, and if you don't know what a Bitmoji is, then download it from the App Store on your phone, and then you can connect it up on Canva, and it's fantastic. So Bitmoji actually works through Snapchat. So even though I don't use Snapchat, I still have to have a Snapchat account to be able to create the Bitmoji. So definitely recommend a Bitmoji, way, way, way better than the Facebook avatars, because they're very limited on outfits and body shape and hair and facial features and all of that, whereas Bitmoji is just endless with the cool things that you can do on it. So keep that in mind if you want to put a little bit of personality in it. I set up my Bitmoji about 3 years ago because I just didn't like posting photos of myself all the time. I don't mind it from time to time, but you know, I just don't think we always need to be seeing ourselves on social media all the time. And that's not saying you shouldn't, that's just saying for me. So then I thought, I'll use my Bitmoji instead. That'll be quite fun. So I use that from time to time in a post if I'm talking about me or whatever. Anyway, have a little look at Bitmojis because they're loads of fun. Okay, the next one is step 5, and that is your call to action. So each post needs some kind of call to action that leaves a piece of you with your audience. So if you ask them a question, let them share their opinion, tag a friend, lead them to your website, direct message you, give them something more. I talk about call to actions a lot, not just in social media posts, but also on your website. Your call to actions need to be clear wherever you are, whatever you're doing, even your email marketing. So for example, click here to book. shop now. These are all kinds of call to actions that, and you need to change up. Do you do it in a different font? Do you do it bold? Do you do it in a different color? Do you do it in capital letters? Do you do it in lowercase letters? Whatever it is, you need to make your call to actions really, really clear, and you need to direct people what you want them to do. So when it's on social media, though, for example, a call to action would be, and I'm going to share the same Facebook post again, so we can see an example. So this one here, the call to action is at the very bottom. Want my magic PDF course systems and tools to simplify and get structure in your business? Comment yes below and it will be yours. Because otherwise, if I just said, do you want my blah, 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 blah to get structure in your business? If I didn't say this bit here, then what would happen? You might read that and nod and then go, how do I get that? So you need to be very, very clear with exactly what it is that you're wanting someone to do on a post. Oh, Cherie, it's Bitmoji, which is, Merlin, would you mind just putting a link to Bitmoji in there? That'd be great. And I know that it's on the Google Play Store and also on the Apple Store. So have a little think about what kind of a call to action you're doing. I just thought that on here, I'll show you a few more call to actions. So here you go. So this is telling you about this afternoon's webinar. And then this is the call to action, register here, making it really clear and simple what it is that they're needing to do. Another one here, what did you do this weekend that was all about the give and not the take? That's asking you a question. So what about, just trying to think of another example. Oh, that's just some lives. Anyway, have a little think about the type of posts that you're doing and the type of call to actions that you are sharing. And then if you can, take that over and also have a little look at what type of call to actions do you have on your website? What type of call to actions do you have in your email marketing? All the different places that you need someone to do something. Are you being clear and are you being very directive in your messaging? You don't want to be too forceful, but at least you definitely want to help people know what it is that they need to do. So as a summary of that 5-step formula, when you start thinking about these 5 things, when you plan, create, prepare, and schedule your content, you're going to see a huge shift in the way that your audience engages with you. So remember, that is your story, sharing something about your story, something about the longevity of what you've been doing, the types of thing, the reasons why you do what you do, the team that work with you, what's behind the scenes, what type of it offers, particularly if you're somebody that's on Zoom. It's been always very amusing to me when I see pictures of what goes on behind the or below the waist, because you'll all have seen those newsreaders that are wearing board shorts underneath and a suit up the top, etc. So those kind of posts are fun and funny, and people are just getting to know us a little bit better. So make sure that you're finding ways to share your story, and don't just share it once. Share it again and again and again, particularly on something like Instagram or on Facebook, that if you've done a post about yourself once, then do it again next month and do it again the next month. You might want to reword it a little bit, but think about it. You're getting new followers all the time that haven't seen your story. You've got people that have just come over to follow you because somebody's recommended you or something. They don't know your story. So share it again and again and again and let people know what you do and why you do it. The next one is to remember how you engage with your audience. So firstly, you need to engage with them, not just replying to people's comments to your posts, but also going and actually actively engaging in your community. As I said, we do it in our newsfeed about 10 minutes per day for each account, and go in there and look at people's accounts, comment something nice, and sometimes I'll share it if I think it's super awesome. So make sure that you're there doing some community engagement. You can't just do a post and walk away and not think you need to give something back as well. Also keep in mind that this is why whenever you're using an external scheduler like Hootsuite or one of those kind of platforms, your posts are getting penalized because you're not on the platform, you're away from the platform. And that is why Facebook came up with Creator Studio, so that you can post for Instagram and for Facebook from within their platform, so you don't have to leave, go away and work on it. If you think about it, and you're on Hootsuite and you've created all these great posts and scheduled them for a whole month, you could have created all this amazing content, and then literally for a whole month you don't even need to go and check on Facebook. They don't want you doing that, and that's why you're getting penalized. The next one is how you problem solve. So making sure you're remembering that what you're posting. So for example, when Charmaine said about sore neck and then, you know, feeling too teacherish, she just needs to find a different way of sharing it, because you are problem solving with your post, which is fantastic, because, you know, a lot of the people that will come to you for support and for classes and all that kind of thing, it's because, for example, they have a sore neck. So how can you fix it for me? So if you're showing your expertise in your posts and sharing, well, this is a really great thing to do for a sore neck. When you're sitting at your desk, you could do X, Y, and Z, and make sure that every half an hour you do, you know, A, B, and C, for example. So problem solving is a really important one. The next one is visual content, making sure that your content is on brand, that the message is really clear, that it's very visually appealing. And that's super, super important. And I said, you know, you could use Canva or any one of those platforms that you want to. And then the final one was thinking about your call to actions. So is it really clear what you want those people to do that are following you? Do you want them to go and shop now, use this discount code, book a session here, book a free discovery call, comment below, whatever it is that you want to do, make sure it's really, really clear what they need to do, what it is that you want them to do. So the next thing I want to tell you about is that we have our masterclasses. This is a series of 4 starting, but of course they can be all separately as well. Starting on Wednesday. It's a 1 full day on Wednesday with the 8-hour chatbot session. So what that means is that you'll be setting up your chatbot, you'll be giving it personality, creating it, finding out all the ins and outs of why you need to be doing it, you know. And basically the amazing thing about a chatbot is it's just going to save you so much time, because you don't even need to think about your Facebook Messenger on your business page anymore, because it's all being dealt with. But also all of those questions that you get asked repeatedly that really just are a standard response, you can set all of that up through your chatbot. You can also set up your QR codes and all those other kinds of things that you need to use on your posters or on your any kind of printing or on your website or anywhere. So chatbot's super fun. We've also got the 8-hour Facebook ads, the 8-hour email marketing, and the 8-hour of setting up your lead magnet. So individually, they're already discounted down to these prices, or you can get 50% off when you buy the whole lot all together. So all of that will be in the chat for you if you want to find out more about that. So they start this Wednesday and they're fortnightly. There's actually only 2 spots left of the chatbot. So if you want in, you definitely need to race over and do that now. So in the meantime, though, if you would like to know a little bit more about a chatbot, this is my free magic PDF. And so all you got to do is hold up your phone and I'll talk you through it. Open up the camera app, hold it in front of here, and mine's not working again. I had problems with this one before. Can anyone else tell me if it's working for them? This not for you either, Joe? Merlin, can you just have a little look into that for that one? Because I forgot that that was a wee problem before, and it's such a shame because it's a great little one. But if you would like the magic PDF all about a chatbot, then let us know in the comments and we will get it out to you. Okay, so it's time to get social. If your stories are all about your products and your services, that's not storytelling. It's a brochure. Give yourself permission to make the story bigger. So that's just a little reminder, and sort of similar to what I was saying before about the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time is when you're edutaining, 20% of the time is when you're selling. So make sure you're not always selling. So if you want to be part of next week's webinar, the topic is Facebook groups. So hopefully this one is going to work. So you just click on that. Hold up your phone, open up the camera app, and follow that process, which again is all set up through our chatbot. And then you can register for the Facebook groups webinar. So I just did it on my phone and it all worked perfectly. Thank you. So we're obviously just having a little wee glitch with our other one. And if I go through, you can do the same thing for this one too. So I'm just going to do this one now, make sure that's all working beautifully. This one is for Friday for bite-sized conversations with Jenny Walk, and which is now also a podcast, which we're very excited about. So yes, that's working beautifully too. So you'll see that chatbots are way more than just setting up something to be automatically responding to your queries. It's, you know, can be used in so many different ways, which is fabulous. And if you want to know more, you can join me in the Hello Media Facebook group. You can head to the website and learn more, but you could follow on Instagram, follow on Facebook. But I'd love it if you wanted to book a discovery call and explore how we could work together. Maybe it's in the group coaching sessions, or maybe it's in a masterclass. Who knows? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oh no, I've got one last little one. The great equalizer is what social media it is. It gives a voice and a platform to anyone ready to put in the time and engage. And while it's free, it's never really fully free, because your time obviously is money. But you don't need to be spending a mozza on Facebook ads. You just need to be on it and engaging and putting out great content. So let me close that down, stop my share, and see if anybody has any questions on any topic to do with social media. Is the topic of the day. So turn on your mic and your camera if you want to, and ask away if you've got anything you want to know about. And if
Kylie.
not, yes.
I love your hair, by the way.
Thank you,
your hair
Shelby.
looks great. And how often, you're welcome, how often do you post on Instagram, if I might ask, please?
I believe that we are scheduled for every day. Would you like me to show you our content strategy scheduling? A little bit of behind the scenes of Hello Media. Would that be helpful?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. So ours is done through Airtable. And we prepare and plan everything in Airtable, and then we put it into Creator Studio for the scheduling of it. So Merlin, would you mind just putting the Airtable link in there for anybody that wants to join? It's free, you can upgrade, but we never have, because the free is that good. So you can see here, here's all the Hello Media Airtable boards. There's Positive Passionate Businesswoman, there's our coaching clients, group coaching, other clients, and then you can archive some. So here though is the Hello Media social media one. And over here is the social media calendar. So let's go to an old one, so it's just a bit easier to see. And so, for example, here is week of November 23. So you'll notice in here, we've got all the different places that you would be posting. So we've got the Facebook group, Instagram, Facebook page, LinkedIn, Google My Business. So we also this year need to be also putting on there Pinterest. And I've been really slack with Pinterest for the last year, which is a shame, because I really love that platform. But, you know, as you know, you've got to do what you can do. So if we look here, though, it says in the Facebook group on a Monday morning, 6 a.m. And then we open this up here and it tells you that this is my question. And on this day it was, how do you keep yourself motivated every day? Share your thoughts in the comments. So you see it's a question, and then I'm directing them with a call to action of what it is I want to do, which is share their thoughts in the comments. Then we've got our first post on Instagram and the Facebook page and LinkedIn right here. So there is the caption. And here are the hashtags already prepared. And there would be the graphic. Then on here we have talking about the free webinar. And then there's a little video that goes with that. Down here we have, this is a Hello You interview, which is only if we have one that day, which is for Positive Passionate Women in Business. Then we have Tuesday, we have Top Tip Tuesday, and we talk all about that. And often the Top Tip Tuesday will lead to a blog. And here's the graphic that gets loaded in that was pre-made in Canva. And there's the hashtags. And then I put any remarks in there or anything that needs to be changed. Now you'll notice that they get a link when they're posted, and if it was put on LinkedIn as well. And the good thing about that is that we can then see if something's done really, really well, we can just go repost and use it as evergreen content. So evergreen content is content that you can just reuse over and over and over. Now, for some of you in your businesses, or who you work for, all of your content can be evergreen. For me, because digital marketing changes all the time, I would have to be really careful with what I reuse. But certainly posts about me or about Hello Media, they're definitely ones that I can keep reposting. Testimonials and reviews, yes. But many of my blog posts can also be reposted, but certainly things about algorithms and stuff can't be. This is one that we do regularly, which is reviews. I just happen to call them love notes. So there it is like that. We repeat what's in the graphic, and then we've got the hashtags, and then there is the graphic that goes with it. And all of those are sitting there in Canva as templates. So now it looks like a lot every week, but you'll notice not all things happen. Like it's only things that are said green that are posted. So if this wasn't posted, then we can go and put that into another week and use that content already. Like this one wasn't posted because I hadn't actually edited it and finished it yet. So that can be reused another time. So anyway, there's lots and lots and lots of different ways of doing it, but this just happens to be the one that works really well for us. And as I said, it's free. We love it. You can share it with, you know, your whole team or just you or whatever you want to do. Up here, we've also got where we're going on Instagram stories. We've got social growth tracking, you know, the magic PDFs, all the kind of stuff, all the reviews, all sorts of things going on in there. But the social media calendar is the one where we're playing around every day. And at least it gives us something of what we want to do. Does that help, Charmaine?
Yes, I'm boggled, but yes.
What's that? Sorry?
I said I feel googly-eyed and boggled. It's amazing what you've done.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
It makes it so clear.
Yeah.
It's really easy to see. And if there's just you, then it's really easy to see what's going on. But also if you're part of a team, it's also a really great way. Like some people have a boss and they're doing the social media for them. So they can share, they can set up the week or set up the month, and then they can share that to their, you know, team leader or whatever you want to say. And then the team leader can go, yep, tick, approve. And then you know that you can schedule all that stuff. So anyway, there's lots and lots of different ways of doing it, but I really like to have a number of weeks in advance ready to go so that I'm not overwhelmed and trying hard to think about content, etc. But I'll often say to Honey, if I haven't looked at the stuff that she's prepared, I'll often just say, go back a year ago and use some of the stuff that did really well. And it's very easy just to repeat that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Sue says, we're not using Airtable after you recommended it. Haha, I'm super stoked. That's awesome. Jackie says, how do you add another group in Airtable? What do you mean, Jackie? I think, oh, yay. No, I can't hear you, but I can see you've unmuted. Do you mean, okay, I'll share my screen and I'll ask you a couple of questions in Airtable. When you say another group, do you mean another one of these across the top, like an empty table? Hold on, I'll just see when I can see you and see if you're, no, that's not what you mean. Do you mean another section of this here? Oh, I've lost you again, hang on. Do you mean like another week? Yes. Okay, so down the bottom, I will go another date. So I'll go to, what's this one? Week of March 1. So this is going to be week of March 8. As soon as I put that date in, it should, by rights, what's happened, Merlin? I'm going to go week of, this is where every other time I do it, as soon as you put the new date in, it starts a new, can you just unmute for a second, Merlin? What am I doing wrong here?
You just change the week off, or to change, because you have your options there, right? No, the week off. The
Here.
second, yep, that one.
But in all my other ones, when I change the date and make it the next week, it starts it in a new section.
Yeah, if it's during that week, that's fine. But if we want to add another week, we have to add that in the custom by using customize.
Oh, okay. So that's this one here, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
So if it's, yeah, so if you want to add another week, so you have to add it in the customize. You click on the week of, yeah,
Yeah,
that one, customize field type, and then you add that week here.
add an option, which would be week of March 8, save.
Save, and then you choose that.
Here, week of March 8. Woohoo! And you see that, Jackie, how it's straight away gone up to the top? But I just want to say, I think if this column wasn't in here, then this thing that I just did before would work. Because on other tables and things that I work with, as soon as I just put the new date in, it starts a whole new chunk. Have you got a better way of describing that, Millen, than what I just did? Or maybe some of the other Airtable users have a better way.
Yep, I think that's another option. So you don't put the week of March, but you just, change the date, and it will automatically have another column.
Yeah, so good. I love it. Brenda just told us in the group coaching this morning that she's just been setting up Airtables, which is awesome. There's just so many ways that you can use it. I love it. Love it. I'll show you how we're doing it for our lead magnets. I've got a list here of all the Facebook groups that we're in. The ones with the ticks are ones that we would be posting into. There's obviously all a list of, what type of group they are, what's the URL, the days that you can promote in there, what days we would just give value. Over here are my lead magnets ready to post. So there's the cover, there's the Canva link to the whole PDF thing. And here I've written all my captions so that when Honey's posting this stuff, she doesn't even need to think about what's written because it's just written. And then there's the hashtags to use, etc. And then in here it says for this year, what we're doing for our plan is this is where they've been posted and etc. etc. So really easy just to follow up and know how it's going and which groups they're in, etc. etc. There you go. Any other questions? So Sherry said, can you clarify Airtable is just a plan? You still have to manually post in the various platforms. Yes, you do. What it actually is lots and lots of different things. It can be a CRM. It can be used exactly in the same way that you would use Excel or one of those things. Has anybody else got some thoughts on what actually it is? Because honestly, I just keep finding more and more and more things I can do with it. It seems unlimited. What are you using it for, Sue, other than your social media calendar?
Everything. We've got my daughter and I, we've got our own calendars set up on there. So we can put all our appointments and that sort of thing in there. And then on our main table, we've just got everything, basically. Anything we want to discuss at our little meetings, or we've got just separate tabs for stock we need to order. Yeah, basically everything. So
yes,
yeah, it's brilliant.
We have that too. So we've got these boards called for approval. And so then it will say in there which person needs to be working on it, or you can put in there which person needs to be approving it.
Yep.
And then, the whole progress of where you're going. So really good one for procedures, for processes, for systems.
Yep.
I just think it's just so limitless and all the things that you can do with it.
And free. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and free. That's the crazy thing about it. In fact, every time you refer someone or you give them your link, you get credits added onto your account. It's ridiculous. We've got hundreds and hundreds of dollars sitting in there of credits from referring people, yet never needed to use them because we haven't needed to upgrade. So it's quite funny, isn't it? There you go. Because the free one is literally that good. So how do you reorder your weeks though, so they have the most recent week at the top? That's definitely a question for Merlin.
Sorry, what's that again?
How do you reorder them so that you have the most recent week at the top rather than the most recent being at the bottom?
Okay. So if you can share your screen again so that I can
yes, of course,
direct them to.
I'm just telling Sherry in the comments that it's Creator Studio like that, and it's within Facebook. I'll just share this here. So if we wanted to, let's go to a different Airtable. And we went back to social media, for example. Yep.
Right. So you just go click on the group, or probably just sort one.
Yeah.
Oh no, not that one. The one on top.
Yep.
No, not that one. Sorry. The group by field.
Here. Yeah.
Just right beside, and then you just click on the either first to last or last to first.
Up where you want it coming up by.
Right. If you want to like reorder.
Cool. And so that will bring up always the most recent date time at the top rather than at the bottom.
Thank you. Were you answering my question?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, my phone cut out, so now I'm back on my computer, so my microphone's working. Thank you so much, guys, for that. I have been fiddling around with that ever since you did your workshop on it. It's absolutely amazing, but I could not work those two things out. It was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look,
so
you
much.
can see clearly I still can't do everything in it. Like I'm often asking Honey or Merlin something where I'm
That's
stuck.
good to know. I need a Honey or a Merlin.
But honestly,
Thank you,
the
Merlin.
more I've used it, the better and better and better I get at it. And I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
yeah, I've just made myself just get in there and start fiddling. But also I'm very visual. So as you can see, I need to have mine all color-coded and systemized, because when it was just all over the show, I just wasn't using it nearly as much. Also, I have never spent any time in this section here, but this is definitely worth having a look at. So if you click on templates and go into some of this stuff here. So I was talking this morning about goal setting and stuff like that. And so I went into here and I went, oh, I wonder if there's anything about, whoopsie, goal setting. And sure enough, up came business roadmap, project portfolio, blah, 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 lots of things in there. So anyway, lots and lots and lots of things that you might like to have a look at. And if you click on marketing, there's tracking, copy management, blog editorial calendars, all sorts of things going on. So definitely worth having a little look at. And again, all of this is free. So worth checking out. And if you click on use template, then it goes into your base section. But other than that, you can just have a little look at it and go, oh, do I like that? Does this make sense to me? Maybe I do. Yes, will I use it? Okay, no, yes, etc. Anyway, definitely worth having a play with. And Honey's made a suggestion, which I absolutely agree with. I'd love to know if you would like this. Just let us know in the chat. So she suggests that we do a workshop on Airtable, because there's always so many people that are interested. So if you'd like a workshop on Airtable, let me know in the comments. And I can share some templates and resources and all that. Who is do a Zoom registration for a webinar? What's that, Sherry? Are you able to ask that? Let's need to unmute yourself. Oh, how do a Zoom, start again, sorry?
Yeah, so this workshop, it seemed like it came through Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was looking in my Zoom and I couldn't see anything there about a registration where people can register.
No, it doesn't. So it's my Zoom. I set up the meeting or the webinar or whatever, and then we put it out on social media or in our newsletter, for example, with the Zoom link. Then you click on that and you go through the registration that way, but it's not at your end from your Zoom.
Oh, yeah, I understand. But if I wanted to create one, because I have an account, if I wanted to create one, is that part of the pro account? Or is
No, you can do the free one as well. Yep, you can create. They just have to be a limit of 40 minutes if you've got the free account.
Right. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I just couldn't see in any of my settings, I couldn't see where it mentioned anything about registration as an option.
I think what you do for when you're setting it up from scratch, you just click on create a meeting or schedule a meeting. And then you decide from there, when you're in there, if you want people to register, et cetera, et cetera. They're getting tougher because of all the Zoom bombing and things that went on last year. They're getting tougher now. So I don't think you can any longer just give someone a link and say, join me. I think you do have to get people to register, et cetera now.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie says, yes, workshop on Airtable, please. Yes, there's so much to know. And as you can see, I don't know even nearly half of it, but I really love it and use it a lot. Yes, please. Okay, a lot of you have said, yes, please. So yes, we will do an Airtable one. We've got Facebook groups coming up next. I believe we have the following one is that Instagram stories? I think. I know we've got another Google My Business coming up. So then we'll put in an Airtable as well, for sure. Now tell me guys in the chat, what is it that you learned today that you can take away that's something new for you, or just a reminder for you that you had forgotten about, or something you might be wanting to change in the way that you do things. So let me know your aha moment of the day. Aha, Sue, to tell a story. Yes, absolutely. Especially your story, Sue. I just think there's so much that we all need to know, you know, like it's one thing to put up your beeswax wraps and these are gorgeous, but you have your own bees. That's an amazing thing. You know, how does that all go? Have you got photos of you putting on your bee stuff? Do you have the sort with the flow hive for the honey? How do you collect your honey? Who does that in the family? You know, like all those things that makes it that entire journey that we go on with you. And you think about all the people that live in a city in a tiny apartment that can look at your posts and just love that they're getting to be part of being on the land and self-sufficient and all that kind of stuff. So Charmaine says offering a free PDF for each post. But Charmaine, you don't want to just offer it without getting something for it. So for example, have a little look at the way that we've done ours, those lead magnet ones. So I always say, tell me, you know, in the comments if you want it, and then we send them a private message and ask for their email address, and then we're growing our email database. Yeah. Learn how to share my personal self. Good, Brenda. So I think, Brenda, your sort of stories about, you know, I've always loved sewing. I sewed with my mum when I was a little girl. People love that kind of stuff. You know, and particularly you can talk about, I don't know if they still do it. I don't think so. Oh no, maybe my daughter did do it for a little while. Sewing at school and things. But do they do it? Does everybody do it these days? Like back in my day, the girls did sewing and cooking and the boys did metalwork and woodwork. And it was like, come on, we should all be learning all of those sort of things. So, you know, it's a great way for you to generate conversation around, you know, how it was for you, how it is these days. Do kids even know how to thread a needle and sew their own button on? And I remember when my daughter started high school and they were very into the absolute correct length of uniform. And I just was like, oh no, I'm no good at hemming a uniform. And then I'm like, how can I not be good at that? I used to sew clothes, for goodness sakes. So how weird that you just get, you know, you get away from that whole comfort around that, I think. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you could be asking questions about. Charmaine says your social media posts are fab. Well done. That's awesome. Hey guys, let's have a little photo. Can you turn your camera on and do a little wave? You don't have to turn your camera on if you don't feel like it, but let's go 3, 2, 1. I love that. Okay, so guys, thanks for being here with me today. If you would like to join me and learn more about Facebook groups tomorrow, and my one top tip is, no, I've got many top tips, but what I'm going to leave you with today is, if you have a business, you need a Facebook group. That's all I can say about that. And you'll learn all about it next week of why you need it and what you're going to do to get one and how you're going to treat it and how you're going to grow it and all that kind of stuff. So thank you. You're very, very welcome. I look forward to seeing you next Monday, and have a wonderful week. And join me in the chatbot masterclass, because every one of you could really make use of a chatbot. All right, guys. See you later. Have a great afternoon.